Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today, this evening? It's Saturday afternoon here in Australia. In advance of me uploading this, I would say stay asleep, and when you wake up in the morning, then watch it. Thank you viewers for all your comments and feedback on the channel. Very, very generous indeed. I watched, I think it is at the day 2 of the public hearings, and of course, is it day 2 or day 2? And of course, the outstanding, the word sterling comes to mind, testimony of former Ambassador Marie Yovanovitch. Of course, in real time, Trump was tweeting out threats to her, intimidation, and we heard about potential veiled threats to her, which had occurred earlier as she was forced out of her position as ambassador to Ukraine. I don't think the Republicans won any friends, and I think they lost a few in regards to their treatment of her. So that's what I wanted. She received a standing ovation, priceless moment at the end of her testimony as a Republican was yelling, trying to get the floor. Adam Schiff wound the proceedings up, gave former ambassador the signal to leave, and she got up and left. There was this standing ovation while the Republican was still yelling, and I think that was a watershed moment. If you if you had to capture a snapshot of the public impeachment inquiry so far, it would be that. It's like a Kodak moment where the Republicans really don't have any defence against these very professional, patriotic foreign diplomats or diplomats, your diplomats. So really, I can't see a win for Trump at this point in time in the court of public opinion. So that's what I really want to examine today. And then I also want to go to a meeting between Barr and Trump. Again, another Kodak moment where Trump is looking quite worried, anxious, like he's having a meltdown, a combination of anxiety and anger, probably the fight or flight response, and Barr looks like they look like they've been arguing. And I did a little bit of a remote view there, so I'll tell you what is happening then with that. I'm also wanting to, one of my viewers has requested that I look into the gas companies in Ukraine, what's going on with Russian gas, which is currently pipelined through Ukraine to Europe, and of course Russia's building its own gas pipeline, and also the Giuliani and Ukrainian businessmen, and what could be going on in that energy sector there. I've got some initial thoughts, but I'll expand on that in another reading. First of all, today I just want to look at the voters' reactions to day 2, and then I'll look at that remote view between Trump and Barr. So let's get started. What did voters think about the way? I'm using my Tarot of the Dreams, Cairo Marchetti deck. What did voters think about the way that the Republicans, and particularly Trump, treated former Ambassador Marie Yovanovitch? What did voters think? What did voters think about Trump's intimidation and the Republicans, the way they conducted themselves during this testimony of Marie Yovanovitch? What did voters think? I'm just getting the image of a shovel, and I think that they're digging themselves deeper and deeper and deeper into a hole. So we've got the 9 of Cups, quite an odd looking card. The 9 of Cups generally is wish fulfillment and miracles, but really you getting what you want. Someone has the Midas touch. I'll just bring the laptop down. Who might that be? Alrighty, let's have a look. The 9 of Cups. So it certainly was, I think, a cause for celebration. I think that Marie Yovanovitch, I get the sense with this impeachment thus far that it's almost like a dream come true for the Democratic Party. that it seems like they're winning. Each time I look, I see a win. I don't see a loss. There's certainly a lot of happiness in that card. There's also an aspect of this Nine of Cups in this deck, anyway, of overkill. You know, somebody that perhaps is drinking too much, going too far, perhaps making a bit of a fool of themselves. So I think that's a good kind of reading of this. Certainly, there is a win here for the Democrats. What is it? Challenged by is the Eight of Cups, and this again is loss, loss, and potentially having to walk away from a situation where there is no winning. So they're the two signifier cards. Let's have a look at the foundation. The Nine of Swords. Okay, this is anxiety. And again, I quite like this deck here. This is a Gemini energy here, and there's a duality. I would say that this would be Trump, and I'll get to Trump in a minute, how he's feeling. Yeah, look, it's the strength of what's coming forward. It's the strength of the reaction and the emotion. See, these are both cups. This is water energy here, Pisces, in fact, and we've got this worry and this anxiety, I think, amongst the Republicans, because what they can't seem to grasp is this emotion that is. It's almost like there is a thread of patriotism, and I guess patriotism, when you look at it, it's the same kind of emotion that people feel around at the opposite end of the scale. You know, you've got something like nationalism, but it is an emotion that they can't stop. And this is evidence also by the booing and the chanting of the Trumps now whenever they go into public, by both sides of the political spectrum. You know, Donald Trump as Jr., as we know, the other day they were chanting far right winged supporters. His own supporters were chanting against him, were drowning him out at his book launch. So it's this kind of emotion that they can't quite figure out how to harness. Now, this is also Uranus energy as well. My feeling is. And if you get a chance to watch psychic astrologer Denise Siegel, she explains the Uranus in the constitutional chart of America, and then also in Donald Trump's chart as well. So it's almost like they tapped into this emotion in 2016-17. And this is a similar kind of thing, but it's the opposite end of the spectrum. It is a resurgence of morality, basically, to challenge this immorality. So they don't know quite how to do it, because it's every bit as powerful as the kind of emotion that they were harnessing back in 2016. It is coming through really, really quickly, and it is emotion here. This is it's the Cancerian energy, of course, and it's like this wave. This chariot is coming out of the seas. It's like a wave coming at them, that they don't know what are they doing. They're just acting like circus fools. And of course, I covered that in my last reading. But this kind of vibe is continuing on with Marie Yovanovitch. In fact, it's probably getting stronger with her, because she's a woman who was attacked by Trump, and in the middle, in real time, as she gave evidence. We've got the Ace of Cups. Again, this is all around emotion. They didn't do themselves any favours. They stirred up a lot of emotion, and I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in this reading I see the Queen of Wands, because I feel that this is just alienating women voters. I should make a comment that Liz Cheney, I think she is the number, what is she? She's a very high-ranking Republican in the Congress, and she has come out and basically said Trump shouldn't have been doing that. Now, Cheney is a devout, I can just call it like a devout Republican, and she's a Trump supporter, but she thought that went too far. We've got the sun energy. And look, the sun is about illumination. It's a very powerful, I guess, energy, or a fire energy. This is associated with fire signs. It's the most powerful, and we're not seeing the moon in relation to Trump. We're seeing the sun in relation to Marie Yovanovitch. And so what they did and how they handled her was just totally and utterly wrong. And we've got the Page of Cups. Again, look at all this emotion and water energy. Water and fire. Both very, very strong elements. We've got the Page of Cups. This is whistleblowers. And I do feel that even though Trump tried to intimidate, what he was trying to do was intimidate further whistleblowers from coming forward, I think it had the opposite effect. I think that they actually thought, no, it hardened their resolve. And we've got the three of swords. So the environment around this now. And look, I have to say, for Marie Yovanovitch, this wasn't easy. What she saw was I guess her country really being betrayed, her values being betrayed, and it wasn't easy for her at all. The Three of Swords, she came forward in order to seek, to ensure that justice will be done, but at the same time she paid a high price for that justice. I think Trump basically said, look, she'll be crying through the testimony. She didn't. She didn't cry at all. She handled herself extremely well. It was this kind of energy that she invoked. It wasn't weakness. She invoked strength, and potentially what she did was again sway some voters from supporting this government to saying, no, absolutely, we need a new start. Now, the hopes and the fears. We've got Russia, Mother Russia here, with the Empress card. And this is also the strength, again, the strength of the evidence that the witnesses keep bringing forward. And the outcome, the Five of Wands. This is, again, Leo energy. It's fighting. It is the, I guess, again, the Republicans showing what they're kind of made of, and I feel that in a way is contributing to what she feels is a loss. This is affecting her at quite a deep level. We have the Four of Cups. Absolutely, it disappointed her, so that's where her thoughts were. I don't know. She was born on the 11th of the 11th, I think someone said, but she is going to go on. This is the Fool. This is the new starts. She is going to keep going with her life, and I think that she's earned herself a place in the books, in the history books as well. But I have to say, it cost her today. And how did it cost her? No, she wasn't scared. She wasn't intimidated. She held her ground. But what I have to say, what really upset her today was seeing I guess, what the Republicans could bring forward. I guess seeing what the President of the United States was capable of. In real time, we've got the Magician card actualizing something into reality. And we have Judgment, the Judgment card, which is beginnings and endings. Endings, something, an inevitable ending. And we've got the Three of Coins, again, fixing something, repairing something that's broken, putting something back into place. And it is going to take a degree of coming together. So Marie Yovanovitch, what did she do? She actualized she played her part into actualizing the ending of something, the ending potentially of at least the illusion that that the current US government obeys the rules, and we've got something quite obviously needing to be fixed. Okay. Let's have a look at, I specifically want to look at women voters, because it struck me that the way that he insults everybody, but the way that he went after Marie Yovanovitch, and even the threat that he made, I think we heard evidence that Trump said that she better start worrying or something, or she's got something to worry about, when he was, running the smear campaign to get rid of her. This is a president who doesn't think twice, regardless of Marie Yovanovitch has only ever been a loyal and true diplomat, professional in the way she carries out her duties, and yet Trump thought nothing of running a smear campaign on this woman. I feel this is about the calibre, and we are seeing the calibre, and couple that with Roger Stone's conviction. I'm happy that prediction was right. He was convicted on all 7 counts, including perjury, which gives Ambassador Sondland something to think about. What did women, just a few quick cards, what did women think about Trump's smear campaign of this former ambassador and his tweeting? Specifically, what did women think? What did women think? Okay, let's have a look. They were with her. They were right with her with this 3 of Swords. This is a betrayal. This is a loss. This is, when you feel like this, it's going to take some healing. And so I would say with this is a Libran energy, which is scales of justice coming forward. I think they lost voters. It's going to take a lot to win them back. We've got the 7 of Cups here, which is having to make choices. And illusions and delusions. So in a way, this feeling of, loss and betrayal means that it pushed them forward to perhaps making a choice. And we have the 10 of Swords. No surprises here, complete and utter downfalls. Who is that downfall likely to be for? Let's have a look at that 10 of Swords. So they're pretty hardened now, and we've got something that will build in time. Who is this 10 of Swords for? Is this for the Republican Party generally? Who is this 10 of Swords? It's an Aries image, Aries energy. So they're going to be quite, strength and endurance. It's not going to go away anytime soon. And the Knight of Swords, this is action on the truth. So I just think it hardened women viewers and voters against Donald Trump. So let's have a look at this remote view that I did. So the first image that I got was like a William Tell with the apple on his head, and I'd have to go back and check up on that, on what that. I guess it's a fairy tale. I'm not quite sure. Has its basis in reality, perhaps. William Tell with the apple on his head, and of course, or not William. He didn't have the apple on his head. I think that he was. He had to shoot, and he shot the apple straight in half. I feel that. So I'll go and have a look at what all that was about. I feel that Trump was asking for Barr to charge somebody with something. I feel he wanted a bombshell announcement. He wanted William Barr to enforce something, and I think to indict somebody. I do feel this could have been law enforcement to cast, because the rule of law is front and centre in the impeachment inquiry. I feel that he was wanting William Barr to make a charge under this counter investigation that he's running. Perhaps those FBI agents, perhaps could have even been Andrew McCabe. Something he wanted somebody charged. Barr was, from my take on the situation, Barr was saying that's not possible. and he was standing his ground because he knows when when something has gone too far, when he starts to actually put himself into legal jeopardy. And he has, I think, already done that in some way, and he's now pulling back. And so that's why I think you saw the president so angry. I also feel that there could have been a discussion around those impeachment documents that that White House and the State Department are holding back for when it might go to the Senate trial. Now, providing that trial goes forward, it will be presided over by Justice Roberts, and so depending on what let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, but just say, for example, if the House votes to impeach this president, and one of the articles of impeachment happens to be obstruction of justice, potentially with this witness intimidation, but also holding back these documents. I feel that there was discussion around that as well. And I do feel that Trump was looking for a way out. He was looking for the upper hand. He was looking for how to get it onto that higher ground, and he was asking Barr to make that happen for him. And Barr was falling back on the law there, or what he was willing to do for Trump, and it wasn't possible. And of course, Trump is actually, I think, starting to understand how serious this is. So let's just ask the cards now. What were Trump and Barr discussing? What were Trump and Barr discussing? What were Trump and Barr? Trump and Barr, what were they discussing? What were Trump and Barr discussing? Okay. All right, let's have a look here. So we've got the Ace of Wands. Okay, so it was a plan, it was a project, it was something to bring forward. I'm just being drawn to that volcano in the background. What is that sitting there? Some kind of reptilian type of, I'm not sure what that is. But yeah, the Ace of Wands, a plan which would actually provide Trump with a new start. Well, when I say a new start, a way out of this. I also feel that it was designed to cast an illusion onto things as well. So something that they could do, because I'm just feeling illusion and delusion. Around either suggesting somebody could be charged around, or even charging somebody. The Two of Swords, the challenge here was justice. So there was a decision to be made, and justice was at the forefront. So this is the challenge. And another aspect of this is having to compromise. And this is in the challenge position, so Barr would not go that far. So I think I'm correct. I think that he was looking for Barr to make some kind of announcement, charge someone, hold back those documents, basically provide Trump with a way out, and Barr would not or could not do that, go that far. We've got the Queen of Wands. I knew she would turn up. The Queen of Wands is again this, he just did himself no favours, none whatsoever. But this could have even been in relation to Marie Yovanovitch as well. Perhaps casting some kind of illusion or delusion around her beyond just discrediting her in a tweet. But look what we've got here. We've got the I guess wish fulfillment in the past. Again, this can be for the Republicans, but it also is the way that the impeachment is going. I'm feeling a lot of Piscean energy here as well. Again, around that illusion and delusion, and because I've got the Queen of Wands here, it could be trying to cast some kind of aspersion on Yovanovitch and Hill in some way. Let's keep going. We've got the Queen of Coins. She's coming up so many times here. The Queen of Coins. What were they discussing? What were they discussing? The Queen of Coins, domestic security, the economy, money. Okay, holding back the documents. All right, wanting to hold back perhaps those budgetary documents as well. And it looks like they're going to come forward, I feel. In relation to the immediate future, I do have my Russia card. So with something around, what is it to do with? It's something to do with money, holding back the money, and the impact that might have in perhaps giving Russia an advantage. There's possibly something else that he's been speaking about that could be about to come out that he's trying to hold back. This could also be his tax returns as well. We've got the Hanged Man. This is what is happening right now, and this is him not being able to move forward. So he was told that he couldn't have what he wanted. So a plan perhaps to charge someone, something to do with justice, perhaps to create an illusion or a delusion around to discredit women, the women ambassadors like Yovanovitch. There was also something around the money here, and it has to do with Russia. Okay, we have the Nine of Coins. So that's to do with independence. Okay, Ukrainian. Okay, it's trying to stop those documents coming out around Ukraine defending themselves. But Russia's right here in the frame. The hopes and the fears. We've got the Lovers card here, and of course this is Trump's card as well. He's a Gemini. This is a Gemini energy in the hopes and the fears here, sitting right next to Russia. This is his involvement too, trying to stop. Okay, could be Sondland as well. We'll go to Sondland next. And the Knight of Cups, the offer, the seduction. Trump, the businessman. This is keeping Trump out of, keeping Trump out of the impeachment inquiry here, linking him directly to the money, to holding back the money. But there's also a Russia card here as well. Gee whiz, look at that. The offer that he made, who was he benefiting? Obviously Russia. We've got the King of Pentacles, Trump the businessman, and we've got the impeachment inquiry and the Democrats. So it was trying to hold back those docs as well, and illusion and delusion, and potentially trying to get somebody charged here because it has to do with justice. Let's have a look at what's going on in real time here. We've got the Queen of Coins. Again, he can't keep the lid on this, and it is around the money trail, and we've got the Three of Cups. There's more to this, and look, I won't read on the potential, the SDNY investigation, which is another concern for him. Giuliani being indicted. So it's more than just, yes, it's Trump making the call to hold back that money to Ukraine, and the most obvious reason was to get dirt on Joe Biden, but there's also a Russian advantage in holding that money as well, to weaken Ukraine. We'll go deeper into that at another time. I want to go to Sondland because Sondland could actually put Trump right in the frame there. He already is with Ambassador Taylor saying that two members of staff were there when that call was made between Trump and Sondland. It's likely that they will be brought in to give evidence. So to get that onto the record where Trump asked about the investigation of Biden to his own ambassador to the EU. Let's have a look at what Sondland He's trying to restrict that testimony as well. He's quite clearly thrown Sondland under the bus, saying he didn't really know him all that well either. He was a Trump appointee. Wow, he really does get people to put their head in the noose for him, doesn't he? Absolutely, and Barr wouldn't do that any further than it's already in. Barr wouldn't do that, and that's why he was looking the way he was. Okay, let's have a look at what Sondland might. He'll have to correct the record, otherwise he would have perjured himself. He will be examined, and on that, giving a truthful record of events. He will be asked now directly how much Trump knew, all of that next week, and this could take the impeachment inquiry to a whole new level. And the Republicans, Trump, they're not winning. So let's have a look at Sondland. I think Sondland's testimony came up there. It is around Trump trying to save his own neck. Is Sondland likely to bring forward new evidence? Of course, Stone's just been convicted for perjury in his congressional testimony, so that's a lesson to people to tell the truth. What's Sondland's testimony likely to bring forward? Tell me about Sondland's testimony next week. Sondland's testimony next week. Sondland's testimony next week. Yeah, I think the Democrats are going to do a deep dive on this one. We've got the Two of Coins juggling something, trying to hold back the detail. That's the signifier card. Let me bring the laptop down. Challenged by the Three of Wands. Okay, so it is this monetary trail here, putting Trump right in the centre of the decision to hold back the money. And of course then we get the quid pro quo, well, the bribery and the extortion then becomes right at the Oval Office door here. Well, inside the door goes right to Trump's feet, I feel. So Sondland's testimony will bring forward, this is an Aries type of energy. It's going to bring forward quite a lot of detail, I feel. That's the signifier card, but Sondland's still trying to juggle. I do feel that the Democrats will be very well prepared. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, and this is things changing for the better. This is a Jupiter energy as well, so we're right in the middle of, we're coming into the Sagittarius new moon, and I feel that the way that this impeachment inquiry is playing out with the wins for the Democratic Party is I think astrologically we're getting the detail. If you look back at the new moons this year and the progression and the full moons, we've had the detail come out. We've had the emotion here, where people want the detail. And again, this is an Aries energy here. People are going to drive forward that truth. So this is also a karmic cycle as well. Here we go, and I shuffled quite substantially. This Piscean energy is coming back up again, and we've got the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. It's almost miracles as well, right next to the Wheel of Fortune and this Jupiter card. The Knight of Coins actually came out reversed. I don't read reversals, but this is the reliability and the courage of his mercenary, his knight, with this Knight of Pentacles. It's reversed, which is suggesting that Sondland might actually cave. We've got the Strength and Endurance card here, which is again the Leo energy. It's sitting next to the Wheel of Fortune and this wish fulfillment card, and we've got the Chariot. Things coming forward very, very quickly. Sondland's testimony next week, and I usually do a Trump, what the week will be like for Trump. It's going to be even worse than it has been in previous public testimonies. It's just going to come right at his door. It's going to land right at his feet. yeah, we've got justice here. This is what he was trying to prevent. So, we can see that Sondland would have come up trying to hold back those documents that put Trump right into the decision-making process as the president. He's not used to being. He usually has his fall guys. He's not used to being in this position. The hopes and the fears. I feel that this is the trickery, the tricksters will be exposed, and this is the Republicans too. I feel it's in the fear position. It's not going to be a good week for them, and we've got the Seven of Cups having to make a decision. This is a Scorpio energy as well. This is going to be a transformational week. This is illusion and delusion. But we've got the Ten of Cups, which is my card for the American voter. This is the family, win for the families, win for morality. It's going to bust through the illusion, I feel. And we've got the Devil card. So we're going to see Sondland was indeed chained to Trump, and that Trump is going to come fairly well into the frame now. We've got the Palace of the Swords energy happening as well. This is also words melding with emotions. These testimonies aren't falling on deaf ears. We've got the Palace of the Coins. So we're getting a look at money in politics and the dirty dealings here from the Trump the businessman and money donations. It's everywhere, and we're getting that exposed here. It's quite rare. This deck has, I think, 4 extra cards: the Palace of Swords, the Palace of Coins, the Palace of Fire, and the Palace of Water. And it's probably rare to pull 2 of them at the same time. But we're getting a really good look through this impeachment trial, and we've got the 8 of Swords restriction, restricting something. And we've got the Moon card here. Things coming to the surface now, and also getting a look again at this. I guess it's kind of an instinctive lust for power and money, and it's you're getting that contrast between that and the witnesses that the Democrats are bringing in. I think ultimately Sondland is going to cave. Is going to cave next week. Okay, so I think I'll probably leave it there because we're at we're at 37 minutes. So a big week next week. And again, I think it's even going to be, if it can be, I think it's even going to be bigger this next week with that upturned reverse Knight of Pentacles there. I do feel that is Sondland, and I don't feel that he's going to go down and perjure himself anymore. I think he might be correcting the record, and I don't think there's anything that the White House can do about it. And yeah, there's not much that they can do at this point. So let's have a look. I'd have to go back to my Trump in November reading to see what was coming up, but I think the impeachment for the last couple of weeks was pretty well dynamite for Donald Trump in November, and it appears that's the case. So lots of wins this week, and that's what I'm going to close down on. Have a great weekend, everybody.